Hey everyone, Spike here with Aitum, and today I'm going to show you how you can use Aitum along with the Move Transition plugin by Exeldro in OBS to easily move your camera around the canvas with the push of a Stream Deck button, as well as easily program your camera to move out of the way of other graphical elements that might pop on screen with Aitum, and then move it back into position automatically. So stick with me. I'm going to try to keep things as concise and straightforward as possible. And the best part about this is once the legwork is done here with this tutorial, you'll be able to use this in many different ways on your stream as you develop more channel point redeems and creative rules. So let's dive right into this. And the first thing we're going to need to do is set up a bunch of filters on your gaming scene or whichever scene that you have your webcam in that you'd like to be able to move it around easily. So for us, we're using the example of a gaming scene. Usually you have your webcam shrunk down in maybe the bottom right corner and the right side or left side of your screen. And maybe we want to be able to just easily move that up to the middle right of the screen or the top right of the screen. So we'll be able to just do that with a Stream Deck button, which is super simple and quick and easy to do. So you don't have to think about it or Alt-Tab and use your mouse. So the first thing, again, we're going to do is jump in here, assuming you have the Move Transition plugin installed, and we're going to add 9 move source filters, and this is for 9 different positions. Now, you could program this to just be a couple positions if you don't think you'll ever be on the left side of the screen or in the center of the screen. I just like to set it up this way because then it covers all major positions of the stream. So I'll show you how we can capture the position by creating a new filter on the gaming scene, and we're going to choose our webcam, and then we're going to go down and say I want to program this as a position that we can move the camera to. All we're going to do is click Get Transform, and that just prints this position and scale and cropping of this source to this filter. So if I move it out of the way and shrink it down, you'll see as I click this filter, it'll snap back to that position. So that's all you're doing. You're just choosing your 9 positions. You know, if I wanted to make the top right position, I would just make sure I'm targeting the webcam overlay and hit Get Transform. And now that is a programmed spot for that filter. So if you take the time now to create your different positions here, I just created top left, top center, top right, mid-center, mid-right, mid-left, bottom center, bottom right. And once you have that set up, then we'll continue on. All right, once you have those filters created and you have your desired positions built into these filters, we're going to jump into the Aitum side of things. And now within Aitum, one of the first things we're going to need to do is create a global variable. And in the Variables tab here on Aitum, you'll click New Global Variable, and I would name it something like webcam position, just so it's easily recognizable when you're finding it within your rules. And we're going to make it of type text. And in the value box, when you first create a global variable in Aitum, you have to type something in. For this, it doesn't really matter what you type in the first time. You just want to put anything in there and hit save. You can put something like top right or bot right if you'd like, just for sake of consistency. And then we'll jump back into the rules tab and create a new rule. And the first thing you're going to do in that rule is change it to type switch case here under the actions section. And we're going to create a trigger, and this trigger is going to be of device type Aitum, trigger type global variable changed, and the global variable is going to be webcam position, or the global variable that you created to use with this tutorial. And once we have that set, we're going to scroll down to the actions section of this rule. We don't need any rule checks or data checks here. And under this drop down for variable, we're going to choose webcam position again. And we can leave the default section blank here. You should see an add option button here, and you can add 9 options. So you have option 1, 2, 3, all the way through 9. And once that's done, all you're going to do is in all of these options, you're going to type in top left, And top center, top right, and these can be anything you want, but they have to be consistent, something that's going to make sense to you. So since I have 9 positions, I'm just going to name them as such in this box. And anytime that the global variable changes and is equal to one of these options, it's going to trigger that option. And that option is actually just going to turn on our move source filter that is paired with that position or created for that position. So under each of these options, you'll again type top left for this one, for example, and we're going to use device type OBS, change scene filter visibility for the action type. We're going to find our gaming scene, or the scene that has your webcam present in it, and we're going to choose the filter that is supposed to be linked with this position. So for this one, I created a move source filter for the top left corner. So I'm going to choose that move source filter, and I'm going to make sure that it is visible. And that's all you need to do. So we're just going to rinse repeat for all of these rules all the way down, or all of these options, I should say, for this switch case. And once that's created, you're going to make sure you hit create or save on that rule. And it should look a lot like this. And this is really the engine to this entire thing. Once this rule is created, this is what allows you to move the webcam to desired positions automatically. And the way we're going to use the Stream Deck to move the camera around is we actually just need to make 9 rules that correspond with those positions, and all those rules are going to do is change the global variable value of this webcam position global variable. So let me explain that a little bit. All we're going to do is create a normal action in here, just a single normal action for webcam position top left. It's its own rule, and you choose device type Aitum, change global variable value as the action type. Webcam position is the variable we're going to choose, and then you're going to choose the set modifier, and you're going to type in top left, or whatever you put into option 1 of your switch case for that position. So this value here is what needs to match exactly to the option text here. These have to be identical. They have to be they're case sensitive, and there can't be any extra spaces. So this text field just needs to be equivalent to here, and that's it. And then we're going to hit save. And if you just repeat that all the way down, you can duplicate this rule and change it to top center and change this value to top center. And you'll see if I hit play on any of these, that's going to move the camera to that programmed position. And all this is doing is changing the text of the global variable here. And when that gets changed, in turn, it triggers this switch case. And whatever that value ends up being, it's just going to choose that option. So hopefully that makes sense. And that is really just the logic and to it, that it will simply allow you to just create Stream Deck buttons to target these rules here, these 9 rules that just change the value of the global variable, and that's going to move your camera around easily. Now, how can we automatically move the camera out of the way, say if a channel point redeem is going to be in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and we don't want it to cover up our face on the webcam, or we don't want the webcam to cover up that visual redeem element? For the example here, I used a little KEKW redemption, and you can see when I hit play on this, my camera automatically moved up to the mid-right position, and once it's done playing out, we're going to automatically move down to the bottom right-hand position here. And there you have it. So how did I do that? It's very simple. We're going to, obviously, if this is a channel point redeem, we'll build a channel point redeem trigger. So it'll be Twitch channel point redemptions for the trigger type, and you'll choose your redemption that you'd like viewers to be able to activate this with. And what we're going to do is change to an if-else type action. And in the variable drop down here, we're going to choose webcam position again. and we're going to say, is it equal to bottom right, which is where our channel point redeem is going to appear. That's where we chose to place it in OBS. And if it is equal to bottom right, then we're going to change the global variable value to mid right, or any desired position that will be out of the way of the visual element for this redeem. Then we're going to delay 1 second, make our channel point redeem visible, the source in OBS visible. So this is our kecw.avi. We're making that visible, waiting 14 seconds for the video to play out. Then we're going to hide that source, and immediately after, we're going to set the global variable for webcam position to bottom right. So as soon as that ends, then the webcam position moves down to the bottom right. And the best part about this if-else statement is, let me just shrink this down so you can see it. The else portion of this statement is what will happen if the camera is not in the bottom right here. And if it's not, then it's not going to move the camera. So you'll see if I put myself in the top right and press play on this, it runs the else version of this. So it's just going to play the redeem and shut it off and not move the camera at all, because the camera is not conflicting. So this is something that you can use for any channel point redeem that you build in the future. Now, anytime you build a channel point redeem, wherever you place it in OBS, when you're creating it, you want to have some text appear in the bottom left-hand corner. Just remember that your camera might be in the bottom left-hand corner at some point. So you pre-program it with an if-else statement to say, hey, is the camera in the bottom left? Is the global variable webcam position equal to bot left? If it is, then let's move the camera out of the way to a different position, let the redeem happen, and then move it back to the bottom left, because you likely want it to return to that position once the redeem is done playing out. So hopefully you got something out of this deep dive into Aitum involving switch cases and global variables, if-else statements. Let me know what you think of the format in the comments below. Going forward, we're going to continue to put together tutorials like this, both simpler than this and, deep dives in this similar format. So let us know what you think. And if you're struggling with anything with Aitum, you have any other questions, just looking for creative inspiration, or want to join an awesome community, jump into the Discord. It's linked in the description down below, and we're always happy to help and keeping an eye on things over there. So if you haven't tried out Aitum yet and you got through this tutorial and you're inspired by it, feel free to go to aitum.tv for a 30-day free trial. And if you're already a subscriber to our platform, thank you. Just a big thank you. We appreciate each and every one of you, and hopefully we'll catch you on the next tutorial. Until then, take care.